Yeah, greetings Jamaica, ex-convict here. Greetings to the world. Yeah, prison life matters. Yeah, my people, Jamaica prison is totally savage for the youth them. Youth them are living a squalor. So youth and youth who they are prison. So when I come on road, be positive. Try my best not go back to prison. Because no one I don't know what it entails. The worst situation ever. Live in hell. So youth and youth of the road. Keep on faith. Keep out of trouble. Keep out of crime. Be positive. Think conscious. And just do the right thing. Because life is love and love is life. Youth and youth. Stay far from prison at the worst place ever. On earth. See what I say? So, when I tell one alone, I could feel like say, my thing a gospel, so I want to hear from others' experience. Prison life matters. Listen out.
The Tower Street Adult Correctional Facility, more commonly called by its previous name, General Penitentiary or GP in Kingston, was the place Norris Gordon called home for 21 years. He was convicted and sentenced for murder in 1993, but admits to more criminal acts, countless shootings and shop break-ins, among others.
In them time they have rankings and you don't know, there's a man we like amongst the rankings them, so you don't know a man we give all 3-4 gun in our bag and say go up a skateland and go and wait up there so till we come. And you don't know we go up there and wait and man come in and every man get them tool and whatever. You have a time when we said we want to hide those tools. You have another time again, we take them out and we go up on the road and we go on with all type of thing. Things do happen.
At 8-year-old, Mr. Gordon's mother migrated, and with no father around, he immediately left home and started a life on the streets. This was to be his introduction to a life of crime.
It's like from my mother migrate, hell come down on her children. Me basically as a young lad, me take to the street because that when me up on the street I was most comfortable. The only time I felt comfortable at home is when I can go out there, I can watch for some man and them broke 2 places or me involved in and whatever. Get things, money run and I buy up some food and carry a yard and everything nice a yard, but as soon as the money done and the food done, square one again. The next nicest part again is when my mother sent barrels.
Mr. Gordon says he knew he was doing wrong and was not always comfortable, but says he could do very little about it.
Enough time things happen and I say, you know, say that man that shouldn't dead, but I can't say it. If I say it, I don't know why that happened. I have to just hold my mouth and just know, say, I go through the motion.
Mr. Gordon described being in prison as living in hell.
When we say hell within hell, all right, also, the food itself is a sentence by itself. The location they give you is a sentence by itself. When you're going to defecate or anything like that is a sentence by itself. The yard, by just walking in the yard is a sentence by itself. Looking at the wall is a sentence by itself.
He says meal times were particularly painful for him.
When me just go in, you have a thing around all named cow skin. When that run, a bear fly, I follow that on the trail. Crushed banana with crushed fish. Just imagine a meal like that. Where a man, they put boil the banana, throw it in a place like this and them have a big stick and crush it out. When that now work, them jump inside of it in them water boot and crush it out. Oh God, man, come on. I am one of the person that's standing here now who put up a revolution against those things.
Mr. Gordon warns that people can reinvent themselves after a life of crime, but
crime do pays. And we need, we talk to our youth, we can't go tell him say crime no pay. Crime do pays, but it's the consequences after the actions. So me have to teach our youth about the consequences. So you can't get a house out of crime, you know. and you can drive a nice car, but after you get that house and a nice car there, you're going to have your crony them and say, boy, you drive car out of phone robbery money, it go on and you hold on and this. There are many arguments can come. Them can say them help buy all your house too. Things can happen, boom, them lick you down. You know, if you enjoy nothing, your family go on that terror same way.
Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
If I could, gentlemen, I just want to ask you, just tell us very briefly in terms of what it is you are convicted of and how long ago. Mr. Williams?
Well, in my case, I was convicted of second-degree homicide, and this was back in 1978.
Okay, so you've been back in Jamaica since when?
I've been back in Jamaica since 2007.
All right, so I'll ask you about some of those experiences. Mr. Marshall?
Yes, my name is Byron Marshall. I was convicted for rape in the year of 92 and was sentenced in 1994.
Okay, so you've been out since when?
Since 1997.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Mr. Davis?
Yeah, man. I am Howard Davis, convicted of murder. Okay. 2008 December. Was released on parole 2016. 17th of June.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you, Mr. Williams, let me start with you. Are we as a society, I think, serious about giving people second chances, about this thing we call rehabilitation?
Well, I think it depends on what perspective you're looking at it from. I'm sure there are people among us who are willing to give second chances. But I think that for the most part, the overarching opinion is to continue some degree of persecution in spite of the fact that men have actually done the crime and done the time and have tried to reintegrate themselves back in society. I think that most people are guilty of that old biblical story where Christ told people, he who is without sin should cast the first stone. You know, many of us continue to stone those who have already suffered or been punished and went through the system and come back into society. So there's a lot of people guilty of still throwing those stones.
Well, tell me, for instance, because on top of everything, you're what in Jamaica we call a deportee.
Right.
And that's another whole set of issues right there.
Exactly.
So when you came back to Jamaica now, did you think this is my second chance?
Yes, I did, even though initially I had no plans to come back to Jamaica, honestly, because I lived there for 35 years overseas. And
you went over when?
I went there when I was 13.
Okay.
And coming back, you know, was a really interesting challenge.
I like the words you use.
Yeah, it was an interesting challenge. And I'm still going through it to some degree. But I did manage to, you know, actually get a decent job.
Before you get to the job, though, what's been interesting and what's been challenging?
Well, it's been interesting in the sense where I'm actually relearning my culture because, you know, after spending so much time overseas, you kind of lose some of the Jamaican-ness, you know. You absorb a lot of other cultures over there, and especially in prison. You know, you get to meet examples of just about every culture you could think of, you name it.
What's the challenge?
The challenge is actually me accepting and being accepted, because you get used to doing things differently. The interests that you have are different. For example, I like watching CNN. And I like watching CNN more than I like watching the Jamaican stations.
Take him off.
No, here's the thing. I know that the Jamaican stations are important to Jamaicans in general. And those of us who never spent time overseas wouldn't understand why the American news is so important to someone like me. They say, oh man, you live in Jamaica now, we are worried about what going to America for. But the thing is, from living there for so long, getting into the news and the social and the things that's taking place there, and the fact that I still have family there, you know, my kids are there.
Yeah. The issue's still relevant for you.
Issues over there are still relevant for me.
Hold on for me.
Interest factor.
Hold on for me. Let me go to the other gentleman. Mr. Marshall, how about you?
Yes, I think that we need a second chance of a truth. Because right now, me in society is like, even though I got my freedom from prison, but it's still like I'm in prison.
How so?
Because like jobs and so forth, traveling, there is like nothing like life to me in the world.
Give me an example of applying for a job. You having applied for a job, and what happened?
First of all, they're going to ask you if you have a convict before.
You tell the truth or you lie?
Yeah, best thing to tell the truth. And from you tell the truth, well, you know you're not getting the job. Even taxi work, we cannot do taxi work. Time past gone, me used to do taxi work, but you cannot do it again because you need a badge. And then it's a everyday charge, or maybe like every minute then. Because if you pass a police here and you don't have a badge, they're going to charge you for it. You go to the other station or wherever, you see an ex-police, they're going to charge you for badges the same. So definitely, like, we are nothing.
So about how many jobs you would say you apply for and get turned down?
Several jobs.
So do you see a difference, for instance, when you say, yes, I've been convicted? Is that when you see people say, all right, I'm not bother with him?
If I see a difference?
If you think that is when them say, boy, I don't want to bother with them on you. I don't hire no convict.
I don't understand.
Sorry, I'm not answering the question very well. When you're doing an interview and they say to you, have you ever been convicted of anything?
Yes.
And you say, you tell the truth and you say yes. Do you then think that that is when they decide not to hire you?
Maybe yes, because they did already have that they don't want any convict. So as soon as you let them know, well, they just decide it right there that they don't want you.
All right, let me bring in Mr. Davis on this issue, although, well, you've been out for about, what, a year and a half now, Mr. Davis?
2 years.
2 years.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what's been your experience since coming out.
All right, well, my experience coming out is just all about accepting my wrong that I have done so that society can accept me. Based on the fact of discrimination and convicts. We Jamaican literally say, yo, you got to prison, dog, a beer, dog, got to prison, you know, king. So it's a stigma thing we leave from prisoners. From once you come out and I want to say, yo, a prisoner that in a old dog that in a. You kind of really even get scared if you go somewhere and tell people, say, yeah, a prisoner, most man hide it. So even if you go look at work right now, a man don't really want to go look at work. With me now, me generalize, because general construction me do. I do welding, carpentry, mason. So my work, sometimes it don't really take a police record, because when you have a police record, you know say you can't really get a job a certain way. I feel like the government should have really set in place, because we were in a rehabilitation program inside the prison. It feels that when we come out, we should at least have the same fostering and care there. We are going something left in place that's such a. So the prisoner them we are come out, we are going to look out for them so them can have some jobs. But it can't really work that way. The government don't. All right, them should have been the first one for can say. Them youth with them creative mind there. We sit down on a waste where they broke the place through computer. Or where they do this. We are going to utilize them in the system out here now and don't make that mind go back to waste so it can be a recidivist to go back into the prison.
Some people might say, wow, for give more opportunity and more access for go back.
No, but you're going to be monitored. Remember the thing I'm going to put your foot in now. So all of them things that you're going to be monitored, your place, your time, everything are going to be monitored so it can be utilized within the system. It can work. But those are some of the solutions. Because I view the problems, I know them long time, so I really want to share some of the solutions.
No, man, and believe me, we're going to get to that. But we're trying to get people to understand what it is you all go through. All right.
Yeah. Well, for me now, based on my behavior still, you know, I don't go through nothing.
What do you mean?
No, my behavior and through spirit, I tell them about the spiritual context. Me accepting my crime, let me really accept everything in terms of what life gives now and understanding that I've done wrong and the things them not to make me do wrong. So I really don't have a problem now in a society. I just work for the prisoners them and whosoever not get no work when them forget work. Because me now won't speak for myself alone, you know. Me I speak general for all inmates where to come And first, I want to tell them, don't go back down there.
All right, hold that thought for me. We're going to come back and pick up on some of these issues. Remember, you can text us. It's 8953999, 8953999, or tweet me, DJ Miller JA, or tweet using our hashtag TVJ All Angles. We'll soon come.